I was going to try to do this in a songwriting short, in a YouTube short, but I couldn't even explain why I couldn't do it in under a minute. So this is a folded idea. And you're saying, what the big falcon rocket is a folded idea? In music, when you're practicing scales or arpeggios, you can fold them to add some interest and to give yourself different finger exercises to do. So let's say a C major scale, one way of folding it might be jumping a note and then coming back, like going up 2 notes, coming back 1 note, going up 2 notes, coming back 1 note, like that would be a folded scale. So I started thinking about poetry and ideas, and could you fold an idea or a rhyme? And it led me to writing this song that I'm really proud of now. And I think it's an interesting song. And the idea of folded idea is not the measure of the song's success. It's just a way to get me started writing. And in this case, it got me to write a verse that was very hard to write a second and third verse for. I made a very difficult task for myself. But it was an interesting idea that helped me get started. So I wanted to share that with you in hopes that it would inspire you to try something similar and get you started on another idea. So what I'm going to do is record my screen, and I can share the words with you so you can see this, because I think visualizing it might be helpful. So this is a song called It Don't Make Sense, and it's on my record, Pick Up Cowboy. And it goes, Pussyfoot, a cat in heat, dinner's cold, luncheon meat, a butcher's block on lonely street. I'm so tired and I can't sleep. It don't make sense to me. And what I started with, I'm going to bold these pieces here so you can see this. So Pussyfoot, pussycat, and then a cat in heat, dinner's cold. And I looked at that, I was like, dinner's cold, lunch, dinner, lunch, breakfast, luncheon, and I got to luncheon here. So cold, dinner's cold, heat, dinner. So dinner goes to luncheon, right? Dinner's cold, luncheon meat. Meat goes to block, butcher's block. Block goes to street, on lonely street. This is not the best one, but lonely kind of goes to tired. And I just like that line, I'm so tired and I can't sleep, tired and sleep. I like that line so much, and I thought it was so authentically part of the human experience and explained something that I was trying to say, that I felt like lonely and tired was good enough. It was good enough. Like I said, it's not the measure of success. The folded idea being perfect is not the measure of success. Oh, I forgot meat and butcher, right? Meat and butcher, there we go. But it's a way to get started on something. And I loved this line so much. I loved all the cleverness that went into it, and then it ended up being something that I could sing that made sense without really telegraphing my cleverness. I never like to do that. I want you just to feel things, not to say, wow, what a great, clever person this is. So we can go to the next line. And these next 2 lines took me forever after I did this. I was like, oh, this is great. I'll just do another 17 of these. Yeah, right. So recorded and played, like played back, right? And then live and death. I don't know. I'm crying. I don't know how that relates to that first line, but like I said, it's not my measure of success. It's just something to get me started. But crying and laugh. I'm crying where I used to laugh. I like the way that turned. And then now I find I've lost the past among 100 photographs. And again, I don't know why that makes sense in particular with the folded idea thing, but it led me into that great line. Now I find I've lost the past among 100 photographs. I mean, what a tragic line. And it does relate to I'm so tired I can't sleep, a butcher's block on lonely street. All the ideas are relating to each other, whether or not I've folded the idea within a single line. And then when I got to this bridge part, I think it took me a while to get to that. So I'm just going to skip it for now and go to the third verse. There was a time I placed a bet, time and place. That's subtle, right? Bet on odds and even odds with no regrets. The outcome, I like that in the out. And then if we do this, let me just get rid of that and say out. The outcomes, as in the outcome is, the outcomes in, out in, and all I get's a future that I can't forget. And those ideas kind of ring off of each other because forgetfulness would be in the past. Like you don't look up the weather forecast for yesterday. There's an arrow of time, right? So the future that you can't forget, it doesn't make sense in a way, but it does make sense in a very tragic way, in a familiar story way. Anybody who's been in love and had that love fall apart, you understand what that line means, a future that I can't forget. So those are the three verses that I created with this idea of folding an idea and folding ideas into each other. What can this next idea inspire about the next line? So then when I started to create a bridge, I thought, wouldn't it be great if I just didn't do any of this wordplay, if I just kept it simple and I wasn't playing with abstract ideas? What can I say that would be just a normal part of this person's life? I tried to tidy up the house today. That's just such a plain human thought and action. I tried to tidy up the house today, but I couldn't find a place for all those dreams we had. And that's an abstract idea, but this is just a beautiful line that's very different from the sort of angular word game that I've been playing in the rest of the song. And that made me feel like the bridge was very different, that I could just step out and speak the way the things were without playing games with you. Now you've gone and taken all your stuff. You think there'd be room enough. The ideas then there, they kind of play off of each other. Like you're gone, all your stuff is gone. You think I'd have room enough for all these dreams that we had. There's like, they play off of each other too, but I didn't write them by thinking about them playing off of each other. I wrote them by just wanting to say what I thought the person in this song would say. I tried to tidy up the house today, but I couldn't find a place for all those dreams we had. Now you've gone and taken all your stuff. You think there'd be room enough. So that's how I wrote this whole song, and I'll just play it for you. Well, Pussyfoot, a cat in heat, dinner's cold, luncheon meat, a butcher's block on lonely street. I'm so tired and I can't sleep. It don't make sense to me. Recorded live and played to death. I'm crying where we used to laugh. Now I find I've lost the past among 100 photographs. It don't make sense to me. I tried to tidy up the house today, but I couldn't find a place for all those dreams we had. Now you've gone and taken all your stuff. You think there'd be room enough. There was a time I placed a bet on even odds with no regrets, and the outcome's in and all I get's a future that I can't forget. It don't make sense to me. No, it don't make sense to me. It don't make sense. A folded idea. I don't know of anyone else who's ever written a song this way. I've never heard of this technique being used by anyone. This is just something that I made up one day to make myself write a song. Let me know if you think there's any other song out there that was ever written using this idea, or songs that maybe inadvertently express this idea in their lyrics. And thanks for watching. Support me, patreon.com/JonathanByrdMusic. I can keep bringing you free songwriting, education, inspiration, and motivation. I'll make you right. All right, love y'all. Bye-bye.